You can be the master. You can be the master of water. You can be the master of fire. You can be the master of wind and earth. You can be the avatar.
Bow, 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 bow. You're listening to Getting Fae'd. We,
Meike,
Lukas,
and Lea are reading A Court of Mist and Fury for the very first time. Today we're covering chapters 32 and 33. Get Fae'd with us! Woo! Like some pack of wolves. You guys...
It's us, the Alpha Wolf Pack.
No.
Just the Wolf Pack. Just the pack.
the gang.
The gang. I can go with the gang. No, I would like to talk to you about a rabbit hole I fell into.
Oh boy.
A rabbit. I like to eat rabbits for dinner because I'm a wolf.
What? Too much roleplay. Too much roleplay.
Okay, I'm sorry.
No, the rabbit hole I fell into is thirst traps for planets.
Planets?
Oh, that's right up your alley, Lukas, isn't it?
Yes, this is like edits of planets
Which planets?
of our solar system, but also other planets like Kepler and stuff. But mostly it's Jupiter because, you know, there's this book boyfriend coded relationship between Earth and Jupiter because Jupiter is the protector and he protects the Earth from all the asteroids, and he has this "you cannot touch her" energy. And there are these edits to these songs. You probably have heard them for other thirst traps. This "Mama, I'm in love with a criminal," or this a man. It's so funny, and I saw this and I was just like, "What is this? What have I stumbled into?" And the roles they put on these planets is very like fictional romance. Coded.
What's Saturn? Cause hot take, I think Saturn is hotter than Jupiter.
You know, Saturn is...
And I already put a ring on it.
That's the thing. Like, he's the romantic one with the ring. You know, he has the ring for you. But also, I've seen some edits where it's like, yeah, Jupiter is like the protector, but he would have crashed into the Earth because he would have crashed into the sun or something. I don't really know that much about like the how our solar system came into being, but apparently the gravity of Saturn pulled Jupiter back, and so it's like, oh, Saturn protected the Earth before, and then Jupiter now protects the Earth.
Wow.
And then, you know, there's Neptune with his like, oh yeah, romantic dance in the rain, but he has diamond rain, you know? Yeah.
And what about Uranus?
Yeah, come up in the videos I've seen yet.
Why? The joke is right there.
I think because it's not supposed to be a joke, but like, this is so amazing and sexy. I don't know. It's wild.
Now I kind of want to read a Wattpad-coded YA romantasy book about planets. You know, the planets are forming into like human forms and then do stuff, but they're still planets. And
What the fuck?
kind of like Transformers, but with planets.
But it's interesting that, like, I mean, that is kind of the relationship between Jupiter and Earth, that, like, because Jupiter's gravity is pulling all the asteroids, Earth is actually protected. But to put this trope on, you mustn't touch her, I will get her. It's like, okay. It's like, I see the logical step, but it's also, okay, what the fuck? But yeah. That was fun, and I thought you all should know.
Does this have a point that's related to ACOTAR, or was this just fun shenanigans?
Well, I mean, Feyre's the Earth, Tamlin is Jupiter.
Yeah, it's more romance book connected,
Okay.
you know?
I don't think Tamlin is Jupiter, I'm sorry.
I think he wants to be Jupiter.
I feel like Jupiter has some kind of dick energy. I don't
Big
like
dick energy.
No, not big dick, just dick energy.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
he's
but-
not a good person. I don't like Jupiter.
But Jupiter is capable. He's like actually big.
I don't
feel
know. I
like-
feel icky about Jupiter. We've talked so much about Jupiter. I noticed I don't like Jupiter.
But he protects you, Meike. You
Maybe
personally.
that is because of Zeus. You know, like Jupiter
yeah.
is the Roman
Alright.
version of Zeus, and I don't like Zeus because Zeus is annoying, and so I don't really like Jupiter. And that's just the connection I make. Maybe the planet is fine. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
Jupiter. Sky Jupiter, not Roman Jupiter.
Okay, maybe we can agree that Jupiter is Tamlin, but who's Rysand?
Well,
The band Jupiter Jones.
no, Rysand is obviously Saturn because he has the ring.
Right, yeah, and Saturn is cooler than Jupiter.
I
yeah,
guess.
yeah. But you know who Azriel is?
Pluto.
No, Azriel is planet 9. that has yet to be discovered.
Pluto.
No, that's not that. People thought that was Planet 9, but it's not.
That was so mean.
I'm sorry to say this, but I am not a Pluto apologist.
What?
Obviously, it's mean and we all get kind of attached to Pluto. But if you make Pluto a planet, you would have to have thousands of planets in the solar system.
Maybe he's just special.
We like him.
It's not about the size.
But he's still a planet. He's just a dwarf planet.
Yeah, that's actually very cute. Maybe. Little boy.
No, and Azriel is maybe the primordial black hole that lurks in the shadows of our solar system.
Okay.
That's my
I
headcanon.
feel like Cassian is Mercury. Not really sure why, it just is. Okay, now you can go out with this knowledge and search for planet thirst traps, but before that, we should talk a bit about
Go pick
A
your
Court of Mist
planet.
and Fury. So,
All right, this is an Akota podcast.
anyone recap?
So, 4 billion years ago, the sun was... No. They trained. Yeah, they sparred, they trained. Cassian got to shine a bit. Farah had her mental breakdown and kind of got to terms with her feelings and to trauma a bit. Rysand did a little romantic cocoon of darkness around them and announced that Summer Court invited them.
Yeah.
Very
That's it.
downtime chapter.
Yeah.
That's basically it, yeah. And we start chapter 32, basically on our way to Summer Court, like they're getting ready and then they win over there. And as we've heard, even though Cassian protested a little bit, it's Fae'd, Rysand, and Amran who make their way to Summer Court.
Making my way to Summer Court.
Yes. And they go to the capital of Summer Court, which is not Adriaca, as the poorly printed map led us to believe, but it's Adriata with a T. Like we said, Adriaca, and somehow the pronunciation with the T didn't fit for me, like Adriata.
Adriata.
So I switched to Adriata.
I think in my mind, I just say it Italian and I mean, Adriata.
I mean, it
Right.
fits. Adriata.
It's got the Mediterranean vibes.
Yeah.
So I agree.
I like that. We should stick with that.
Adriata.
Adriata.
Nice.
Yes, and the plan is to have Fae'd fly under the radar a little bit. She will be presented as, quote, Reese's newest pet.
Hated that.
And obviously, being Reese's newest pet grants her a personal tour of the Lord's private residence for reasons, I guess. All the pets get that.
I guess he can just bring whoever he wants.
And I think it is supposed to make her seem less of a threat. Mm-hmm. And to just
Yeah.
be, that's my current girly.
I don't want to take too much away, but I thought that was a stupid plan. And what makes it worse is that they don't stick to the stupid plan.
Yeah.
But more on that later.
Yeah,
I was
I
actually
agree.
scared they would continue this whole Under the Mountain act, where he would like parade her around half naked and be icky to her. So I was like, no, I was excited for Summer Court. Now it's just Under the Mountain 2.0, but it's not.
It's not, but it's also a bit. Because Rysand also puts a mask on and he presents as the snide asshole we kind of got to see under the mountain. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And the seat of power in, what did we say? Adriata.
Adriata.
See,
Is a stone palace on top of a mountain that sits in the middle of an island. And around the mountain, the city spreads out, and beyond the island on the bay that is connected by bridges. So quite a big city. And Summer Court, or at least Adriata, is a seafaring culture because there are all kinds of ships and because there are all kinds of ships bustling around. Mm-hmm. Nice, cool atmosphere, very Mediterranean.
I dig the vibes.
Sounds like a cool place to stay.
Yes. And the gang winners there.
You mean the
And-
pack?
No,
Okay, I'm just gonna stop.
please. The gang winners there and is greeted by Tarkin, the High Lord of Summer Court, and the Prince and Princess of Adriata. I can't say it normally now. What the fuck?
It's kind of hard. Adriata. Adriata.
Well, the Prince and Princess are Cressida and Varian, and they are siblings. But we don't really know what their relation is to the High Lord, right?
I wanted to.
I mean, Fae'd thinks for a minute that Cressida might be his wife, but they don't have rings, so... And later he says he has been the prince of another city, so maybe he's just like the main ruler and all the city rulers are like prince and princess.
Yeah, right. Like, it's interesting. He's the High Lord, but there's also prince and princess. So.
Right.
What's that?
And when they meet, not only does Feyre remember Tarkin from under the mountain, but also a part inherent to her remembers him, remembers being a part of him. So
Cute.
there's some magical connection between them because she has his magic
Magic?
inside of her.
Ooh. Foreshadowing?
I just wondered why she has never had such a reaction to Tamlin's or Rysand's magic. Was it just because she knew them before
think
and kind of
so,
didn't
yeah.
place this feeling of knowing the person, like didn't connect it to her magic? Or
I mean,
is he special?
I don't think he's special. She already did feel an attraction toward Tamlin, and I think she does feel an attraction toward Rysand
What?
way from before, so that's not really a new development. So I think it just mixes around.
Honestly, it would also be kind of weird if... Because the way she describes it does not really feel like just a sexual attraction.
Right.
But more of like we belong together in a way. Sort of like being related. So it would be very weird if she felt that way toward Rysand or Tamlin.
Yeah, I think she describes it as like, well, there is obviously a connection there, and Tarkin must feel it too. And so she thinks he might confuse it with attraction because he probably doesn't necessarily know she has part of his magic, but she doesn't necessarily confuse it with attraction.
No.
I do.
Good for you.
Because I like Tarkin.
I like him too.
I haven't really made up my mind about him. Well, they greet each other and they exchange a few niceties as greetings, but Rysand and Amren appear quite cruel and a bit aloof the whole time. For example, when Rysand comments on Feyre's spectacular breasts when he notices that Tarkin is staring at her breasts. So, yeah, that was weird.
But I guess this whole Night Court act that they have to keep up in terms to like protect Valaris, I think it's also giving him a way to kind of let his jealousy show without showing he's jealous. Because I feel like it made him react in a way to see another man stare at Feyre's breasts. And he could just use it like, Night Court people are rude. So I'm just gonna be rude now because I want to, because he's looking at my girl.
Yeah, but why does he stare at her breasts?
Because he's a man.
I'm
And
not sure if he stared at her breasts.
I think he did.
I think Feyre describes it as maybe his eyes went to her heart, because that's where he kind of felt the tug of, of his power.
I mean, she describes that a breeze like lifts the fabric and reveals some skin, and then he looks at her heart. Sure, bro. Yeah, that's why I'm like, that's like the first impression we get of Tarkin. So I was like,
But he's also very young.
Yeah, that's true.
He's only 80.
We can
He's
forgive
like a
him stuff.
teenager.
Well, Tarkin is not the only one who looks with a little bit of lust, because Amren takes one look at the prince of Adriata. Maybe I stick to Adriata.
No.
I don't know how to do the other thing. Well, Amren takes one look at the prince, and she looks at him as if she has just gotten a Christmas gift. So, yeah, some cookies.
And he is the captain of the guard. So
Yeah.
he is this book's Kaol Westfall.
Yeah, we don't really get to know this variant yet.
No. But I like his name, I guess. I feel like I was a bit taken aback about Tarkin, because it does not feel very fantasy, but I kind of feel like it fits Tarkin. And then Cressida?
Well, with Tarkin, I have to always think about Moff Tarkin from Star Wars. And then I say Cressida because I know that name from Bridgerton.
Okay.
But there is an E somewhere in there, so maybe it's Crusader, but I don't care.
Yeah, but I guess Cressida and Varian sounds like fantasy people.
Yeah.
Made me happy.
Nice.
On that platform, they talk about how the Samar Courtlands and the city have fared under Amarantha's attacks. And Rysand sneakily starts fishing for information because he's like, I hope no valuables were lost during its occupation. And so he's like, sneakily, what happened to your treasure? Is the book still there?
Very subtle.
Yes. As we said, Tarkin feels a bit connected to Feyre, and Feyre decides to use that and begins flirting with him. And so an exchange of flattery begins between them. And then I guess we probably come to the point that you wanted to make, Lukas, because Tarkin also wonders about her role at Rysand's court, and Rhys just tells him the truth.
Yeah.
That she is the ambassador to the human realm.
Why have this act? Because then Rhys just kind of switches to being respectful towards Faera, which is nice, I guess, but like not the plan.
I guess I didn't mind him telling Faera's title that much, because I thought making Faera just seem like his pet was a stupid idea, because that would just send the message to all the other courts that he took Faera because he was lusting after her.
Yeah.
So Tam would, in a way, be right in being like, oh, he kidnapped my girl because he's jealous. But to be like, Faera is working for me, she's officially a part of my court now, which basically you only become if you want to, because she has a title. Look, she's here on her own free will. It's kind of a good look because it makes Tamlin sound wrong. But then he still has to keep up this act of, Night Court is evil because no one can know about Valaris. And it just feels like it's clashing.
Yeah. When I read it, I didn't necessarily mind it. I was just very surprised. And I didn't get the feel afterwards that the pet act dropped. I just thought, my pet is also the ambassador to the human realms. And I was just like, that's weird, but sure.
Yeah.
But I also didn't have the impression that Tarkin was ever fooled by the pet act.
I think he thinks Rysand does like her. And I mean, she says at one point he thinks, or he might think that she's kind of a fast girl because she's first been with Tamlin and then with Rysand and now shows interest in him. So he knows that her interest might not be genuine, but just like opportunistic.
Yeah, but that wouldn't make her a pet.
Yeah, but I think it's just the way he thinks of Rysand. Like, the act he keeps up is probably, I have a different girl at my side every time. And then he was like, with Amarantha. And then he paraded Faera around. So that must be still in Tarkin's mind. Right?
Yes, okay, I agree.
Yeah. But talking about this diplomatic relationship with the mortals, or possible relations, brings up the topic of a war with Hybern, and Rysand says that this war is imminent, and the Summer Court promises to be on their side against Hybern, but they state that they will not aid in any war between courts.
Honestly, fair.
Yeah, based. But with this we get a kind of a revelation, I think, because we learn that it is not unlikely that Tamlin might go to war to win Faera back.
Yeah. Stupid man.
And Prythian law states that even if she has sworn fealty to a different High Lord, as Tamlin's bride, she still belongs to Tamlin.
Stupid law.
But they didn't marry.
But she is his bride. That doesn't mean... it's
so
stupid.
she's his bride and his pride.
Yes. I mean, I agree. It's a stupid law, but probably, like, you're a bride before you say the vows, so...
Yeah.
Yeah, but, like, who enforces that? The UC? The United Courts?
I mean, currently no one, but if you would request from Summer Court that they return her, they would be obliged to do that. But they probably don't know that she's there, and Rysand speaks out some threats that anyone who will tell them will be killed. Faera is convinced that Tamlin will not start a war with Night Court, because Night Court is so much more powerful than Spring Court. Yeah. I think that brings us back to the notion that we had for quite some time now, that he might collaborate with Hybern, because if he allies himself with Hybern, they might be powerful enough to fight against Night Court.
Yeah.
Also, during this whole talk, Cressida is so weird. Like, when she first said hello to Faera, I thought she would be like a coolish ally person, because she's like, oh, it's an honor to meet you. She sounded so interested in Faera, just like, oh, you're different, I want to know about you and this human thing and blah, blah, blah. But then she's like, well, you were promised to Tamlin, and if he ever requested, we would have to give you back. Sounded like a little bitch.
I mean, I guess she just doesn't want to be involved in quote-unquote unnecessary conflict, I guess.
Yeah, maybe also in this instant the jealousy already started. Like, she met Faera and was like, you're nice, I like you. And then she saw, Faera and Rysand are maybe a thing. And then she thought, but I want to be a thing with Rysand. and then she got jealous, and then that
Foreshadowing.
maybe her mind just works fast like that.
I just want my girls to stick together, you know?
That's not
Yeah.
Girls
happening.
support girls.
Not in this book. The chapter ends with Rysand speaking out this threat. Anyone who, as I said, gives her away will be killed, probably by him. And I found it was quite a little bit of a funny reaction, how the reaction of the room was described, because it said, even the sea breeze died. Yes. And then chapter 33 begins.
Yippee.
And it begins in the evening with Rhys and Feyre, and they talk things through a bit.
In the quarters.
Yes.
They have adjacent quarters with a nice view.
And I think like with a door that connects the rooms.
Yeah.
So he can visit her easily. And he tells her that he actually likes the Summer Court people, and so Feyre should try to achieve her task without turning them into enemies.
Yeah. At that point, I just thought, maybe talk to them. Just, tell them your plan.
Yeah, I think at this point I didn't see that the plan required them to be enemies. Like, just stick to the plan and steal it secretly. But at this point, some disharmony seems to be approaching between them, or it seems to be introduced by the following sentence. The space of the room, the large bed, the windows, the sunlight filled the silence between us. And so, something is between them. Silence! But then they immediately get close to each other again, and he implores that she should do anything to accomplish her mission. And
Anything,
anything.
even sex.
Even sexual illusions.
Oh no. But what would that make Rysand feel?
Well, he says he would be fine with it. But Feyre doesn't really believe him. And I don't either.
He's a jelly bean.
Jelly bean, yes. Yes, and all the while they talk this through, they now have reached the stage of breathing against each other's mouths. But not going further, because now he wants her to light a candle. But as she summons her power, instead of fire, water splashes against the wall.
That sounds so funny. He wants her to light a candle. It's not romantic enough in here, Feyre. I can't kiss you. Light a candle.
Well, I was more distracted by the splash of water, because if that is not a metaphor, I don't know what is.
Yeah. Sometimes I'm a bit taken aback how aggressive that tension feels. Sometimes,
Yeah.
I think it's mentioned that he slams his hands beside her head and is like, Feyre. But then I kind of like the way she's starting to tease him to maybe even get him to admit that he would not like her sleeping with Tarkin. I almost said Tamlin. To get the book. So I like how she's starting to, join this flirtatious thingy.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then as she embraces the flirtation, as you said, she gets wet.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, it's just like the tension between them is like, whenever I read this, I'm like, you just kiss, finally for me, please. But it never happens.
Do you think it'll happen in this book?
I don't know anymore.
Do you think it will ever happen?
I think
Yes.
it will happen. Maybe they're not endgame, but they will be game
Yeah.
at some point.
Game.
I'm always so torn between not liking insta-love stories, because it went very quick with Tamlin.
Yeah.
But maybe that was
Yeah.
also just because I didn't like Tamlin. Because right now I kind of feel like I would enjoy the relationship between Feyre and Rysand. And I'm like, come on, move forward. But actually I think it's nice that they're not moving so fast. And I enjoy them taking it slow and teasing and the tension building. But I'm also very much waiting for a kiss.
Yeah. The thing is, I don't think Rysand and Feyre would be insta-love if they kissed now. And
No, they wouldn't.
I also think their relationship is complex enough that if they kiss now, it wouldn't mean that they are now instantly in love and a couple and
No,
woo.
right.
Because maybe they would just have fun first and then something more develops. But that does not happen. Instead, the reason why Feyre summons water is not only because she basically climaxes, but because she feels so drawn to the power of Tarkin and the sea. And so instead of fire, water emerges. And she's able to control that water and lets little droplets float around them.
Just like stars.
Yeah, it mirrors the scene they had together with the starlight in their
That was
cone
very
of darkness.
cute.
Yeah, I
and
really
then
liked
Rysand
it.
had to ruin it.
Yeah.
Going like, oh, well, you better don't show Tarkin that trick in the bedroom. I was like, bro.
I feel like it would be quite the impressive move in the bedroom. I mean, the things you could do with these little water droplets, the possibilities.
So many possibilities.
You basically have more fingers all of the sudden. It's,
Okay. But before they actually go to sleep, Feyre starts to worry about Tamlin. And she says that to prevent a war and more bloodshed and death, she would go back to him.
Sadness.
For her to be willing to again make such a big sacrifice is so brave, but also so heartbreaking. Like, she just got a little better. And she's like, okay, I'm okay enough to ruin my life again. And that's just sad.
Yeah.
But I like how Rhysand is immediately like, well, would that make you love him again? And Feyre's like, obviously not. And he's like, okay, then you're not going back. So if you want him back, go. But if you don't, we're not doing this.
The thing is, he doesn't really take it all too well that she says that. But I agree that I understand why she says it.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
But with the way these chapters progress, or this chapter progresses, I feel like that does something to him that she says that.
I honestly feel like if Rhysand is truly in love with someone, he would be one to go to war with another court to get her.
Maybe.
Probably.
Yeah, I think it's probably been a while since he has loved someone. And I mean, we don't know if this is love for Feyre, but it's certainly something more than he had for, I don't know, Amarantha. So he's maybe also just a little confused. He's like, he doesn't know how to feel that giggly and silly inside, maybe. And then the girl he starts to like is like, well, I could go back to my abusive boyfriend. He's like, bitch.
Maybe he's never been in love, truly, in his 500 years of
Maybe
existence.
she's his mate.
His mate.
Still don't know what happened, why he looked shocked at her in book 1.
Right,
You mean it's the Metting Bond?
The Metting bot. Yes.
Yes, it's the Mettbrötchen that
Yes.
snapped into place.
He looked at her and then he saw a Met Eagle and was like, I'm in love.
I really hope we get to see Feyre and Tamlin meeting again, but I really hope it's not because Feyre goes back to prevent a war. And I don't think it will be.
I wouldn't want her to go back.
No.
I like the reasonable reaction from Rhysand would be like to ask, would that make you love him again? And she would be like, no. And then he could be like, well, we will find a solution to prevent this war.
Right.
We can talk to him. We can like, even if he marches his army, he will go to have.
Great point, yeah. Yeah.
He would have to go through so many courts to get to the Night Court borders. But if he does that and, like, I don't know, stands with an army at the borders, they could go there and be like, hello, let's talk this through. My man. No.
Does Tamlin even know how to winnow?
I don't know.
He
Did
never
he ever winnow?
No, he never did.
Maybe
he ran
he's
all
a
the way.
Weak
Yeah,
ass
he's
bitch.
just weak.
Weakling, little bitch.
No. Yeah, but before this whole, like, thing that she would go back to Tamlin, she actually says a quote before that makes me really hyped for her character development, because she says, "No one was my master, but I might be master of everything. If I wished, if I dared."
Nice.
And that's like, nice. And then the whole Tamlin thing happens, and I'm like, ah. But before that, I was like, nice. You can be the master. You can be the master of water. You can be the master of fire. You can be the master of wind and earth. You can be the avatar.
Bow,
Bow, bow, bow.
Nice, yeah.
Yeah.
Would be pretty dope.
She's finding confidence in her powers, and that's really nice. And I think maybe that is also part of the reason she says she would go back to Tamlin, because she's like, I maybe could take it. Like, I would hate it, but maybe I would not starve to death and think about rather dying.
And
this
the
time.
thing is, he would probably, like, put her in some room, or at least we can safely say he would lock her in the house. Like, maybe not in a room, but probably in the house.
Yeah. But he doesn't know yet that she's become so powerful.
That's the thing. I think she would just go on training. He would go out on his missions, and she would go in her paint room and train there. And then she could winnow away.
Yeah.
Right.
Go, Feyre!
But then Tamlin would be like, oh, someone kidnapped my girl, and go to war again.
But if she leaves on her own and just... maybe then she travels through Prithian. Finally!
Nice. With Isaac.
No.
Yes.
Please
Without
don't.
any man.
With mahogany.
Yeah.
Isaac is not a man, he's a boy.
No, the boy has turned into a man. She said so
right.
herself.
Did you?
That's what marriage did to him.
Did you miss one of the 2 instances Isaac appeared?
No, I just didn't want it to be true. He's still a little boy in my head.
That's so
She
nasty.
would crush him. She's so much cooler now.
Yeah, but maybe he's into that.
Yeah, maybe.
I can see that. Well, the next day begins with this party on Tarkin's pleasure barge. Nice.
Yeah, pleasure boat.
Pleasure boat.
Barge. A pleasure barge.
What's a barge? Why isn't it a boat?
Well, it's not a yacht,
A yacht.
but probably something like a yacht.
Why do you say yacht? Isn't it yacht?
No, it's
No.
yacht.
In English, it's yacht.
That sounds stupid.
Well, that's how the language goes. I didn't invent it.
The language is stupid. I will switch to German now. Also er ist auf einer Yacht und hat da viel Spaß.
Auf seiner Lustjacht. Well, in like Emilia Galotti, they go to a castle and that's like his Lustschloss. And that's actually where the prince goes to fuck random women. Maybe men, but in the book, a woman.
Makes sense.
Das ist ja witzig.
You gonna stay German now?
Ja.
Okay.
Jesus. Jesus!
Because that's German.
Jesus!
Jesus Christus.
Well, on that pleasure barge.
Brings you much pleasure, huh?
Well, on that pleasure barge. Bitch! On that pleasurable ship. On that boat, she's spending a bit of time.
On that boat!
During that party.
It's not that funny. What's all this about? I just switched from German to Canadian.
That's okay. Well, during that party, she spends a bit of time with the Summer Lord to get some information, but also because Rysand has basically been ignoring her. He didn't even comment on her outfit.
That was so silly.
But what I found nice is that she actually feels very good in her outfit and feels like feminine and pretty, which she hasn't felt in a very long time.
I just
Yeah.
love how she's embracing liking to dress feminine
Yeah.
and at the same time does not think it makes her any less. Like, I
Yeah.
think she puts it like, here that doesn't mean I have to plan parties and just be blah, blah, blah. It just, you know, she's like, I can dress nice, and then when I don't feel like it anymore, I put on my fighting leathers and I'm badass, and then I go back to my cool lilac dress and I'm gonna slay either way.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think the quote goes, no, I know the quote
You just remembered.
from the top of my head.
Lea read these chapters like 10 years ago.
Well, the quote goes, here I could be soft and lovely at sunset and awaken in the morning to slide into Illyrian fighting leathers.
Cool.
Pretty awesome.
Nice.
That's a very neat life.
And maybe in the
Yeah.
future, an Illyrian slides into her.
Fighting leathers.
I feel like it kind of contradicts I almost want to call it a trend of like the 2000s and 2010s where every girl is a tomboy and
Yeah.
does not like to dress up.
It was not just in books, but like in,
Yeah.
I think in all media.
Yeah.
Yeah, to be a strong woman, you had to.
Get rid of femininity.
Yeah.
Yeah, you had to be manly in a way
Right.
to be strong, and that's not true. I'm weak.
Part of my bachelor thesis.
Nice.
Maybe we should do an episode about your bachelor's
No,
thesis.
please, no. Uh-oh.
Well, during Tarkin's and Feyre's conversation, we learn a bit about Summer Court's values and traditions, because they do value tradition.
Ooh.
Basically, probably almost as much as Spring Court. And one of these traditions is that they value... Wait. Sorry.
They value wait. You have to wait a very long time for
Yes.
everything.
Well, one of these traditions is that they place their value in their treasure. Very convenient that he has to do that out of tradition. And at this point, Feyre cleverly asks if she might be allowed to see that collection. And I really like that they never stop fishing for the actual information that they're there. That was fun for me. And another tradition that they have is that in the palace, lesser fairies may never be seen or heard, because they are bad, I guess.
You know, that sentence made me think about Tamlin and Springcourt. And at first I thought about Alice, because for me, Alice always kind of felt like part of the team of Springcourt in a way. But I don't think we ever saw her interact with Lucian or Tamlin. So maybe Alice was also not supposed to like talk or look at the highborn nobles. And then I noticed that maybe even made Tamlin a bit progressive when he was there for that dying fairy that Rysand took the wings off? Question mark?
Probably the
I don't
Etta.
know. Oh yeah, probably the Etta. You're right. Rysand didn't do it.
Didn't the fairy say she took my wings?
Oh,
Right.
Was it
Amarantha.
just straight up Amarantha?
Yeah, probably.
Well, maybe
Or-
she was like, Etta, do it. I don't
Yeah.
see Rysand
Maybe-
ripping out someone's
No.
wing.
Maybe it was Rysand and Drac.
But I can see that she makes him do it.
Right, because she's like, oh, you love flying so much, you little stupid boy.
Oh, I can see that he did it.
Well, doesn't matter. That's not my point. I was like, oh my god, did that make Tamlin progressive?
Probably.
Ah, no.
But I feel like Tarkin, he is not progressive, but he has the progressive mindset.
Yeah.
Right.
Because he's like, it's just a case, this basically systematic racism or speciesism is in place and he doesn't like that, but he also acknowledges that he can't just change that overnight even though he's the leader. And I feel like he's kind of maybe healthy-ish mixture between Tamlin and Rysand, because Tamlin is like, no tradition, I can never change anything, which is bad, fuck Tamlin. But then Rysand, he is very progressive in that, but I feel like his approach to just be like, okay, I'm gonna make my one cool city, and then the rest of you can just have the evil city and suck.
Yeah,
I feel
you're
like
right.
that's also not the way. I feel like if you rush things, you will just kind of break the country apart, basically. Tarkin, I feel like he has the right mindset.
And he hasn't been in power that long. I mean,
Yeah.
Rysand is there to like test the waters. What is he like? To test his strength. And we see that he has some advisors there. And you know how it is in royal courts. There are these advisors that have their own plans and want to push the ruler in some direction. Maybe he has to like enforce his rule first and then he can like imply changes or implement changes.
Right. I was actually a little impressed that being so young, he is still, like, he understands that
That
he
dude
can't.
is 80 years old.
Yes, but in that society, that's nothing, right?
Yeah.
I feel like you really get less responsibilities and stuff at certain ages.
Yeah.
You are right.
Right?
Let's
So
be
I-
impressed by
know,
this baby.
You know, he kind of feels like this classical rebel-minded leader that just barges headfirst in and then the rebellion just falls apart. And he doesn't do that. He's like, well, I don't think it's good what we're doing, but, like, you know, I'm trying to change it slowly, so it's actually changing. I thought this was an okay approach.
Yeah. He just feels like he has the heart in his right place. And that also makes him quite killable in this book.
Yes, I thought so
Probably.
too. And it's also very easy to be in a very high position of power and then forget what your good cause is. You know, if you're like, oh, just gonna take it slowly, and then he's immortal, he might never change anything. But it's good that he has the right mindset. He seems more trustworthy than, I don't know, Tamlin or maybe the High Lord of Autumn Court.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the thing is, not only does he have these views, but there is some unrest among the people in Prythian who also hate this class divide between high fae and lesser fairies. And that kind of mirrors the sentiment that Feyre feels toward the mortals from her past. And I'd like to read some passages here. Well, she tells Tarkin about how her father lost their fortune and how the people that used to be their friends now sneered at them and looked down and never helped. And so she says, the very people who had been content to let us starve were once again our friends. I would rather face every creature in Prythian than the monsters on the other side of the wall. My sisters dwell with my father on his estate. For them, I would fight, but for those sycophants and peacocks, I would not mind to see their order disrupted. So like the people that they then became friends with again when they got rich again.
This is the first time she ever, I think, outright mentions hating what the humans are right now.
Yeah. I was maybe a bit surprised.
Me too. Because so far it's only ever been her anger towards her sisters. Because they've been actually responsible for how poorly she felt all the time. Because they didn't do shit. But now, like, has she ever had that much other contact with other humans? Well, I guess, yeah, in the way she mentioned. The people who did not look at them when they lost their money and then came back when they had it. But yeah, it was a very strong reaction.
Yeah.
Surprised me in a way.
Do you think, like, when she meets the model queens, that will reflect, or will she be like, these are different people, and she actually just doesn't like the actual people that did something to her? Or is it actually this class divide that she hates?
I mean, maybe the queens just also suck in that way. And I hope the book will deal with that. I had a thought about this because I feel like Sarah J. Maas, with this whole racism thing, speciesism thing, and this class thing, she opened up a jar. And I really hope that this book series does not take, I call it the house elf approach. Because, spoilers for Harry Potter. In Harry Potter, it was like this thing that at some point, it was like a fight for the rights of house elves, and it opened up this whole slavery thing, and then it was just never really resolved. And if we finish the ACOTA series and are like, this conflict didn't really play a big part, I will be sad.
You know, Tarkin mentioning other people not liking this class system could be foreshadowing of like the long game story of this book that is not fighting the King of Highburn. That might just be our quest now, and then once he's finished off, Feyre and her gang of rebels, in a way, could set out and try to change Brethian, which would then set Feyre on top as the queen of all the fairylands, the good queen, the one who does not mirror Amarantha, the one that changes everything, the one that is Fae and mortal combined, the savior of our worlds.
You say the one that is fair?
Yeah.
But honestly, I mean, I like your sentiment. But I feel like I wouldn't like if that happens. I mean, obviously, Feyre being queen would be cool. But I feel like the problem is the monarchy. So to have your book end like, well, you just need a good monarch would be just a Harry Potter thing of, well, you just need nice slave owners, which basically happened in that series.
Yeah.
Well, but Lukas, you forget, they want to be slaves.
They need to.
Okay, yeah. I'm
It's
sorry.
their life's purpose. Jesus. No.
Yeah,
But you know, Feyre will be different. She will have some people in her court that speak to her, like in this Court of Dreams. And in that court, there will probably at least be one lesser fairy.
No, I think you're absolutely correct. But a romantasy book, and the way these have been so far, just don't feel like a book that would solve the problem of hierarchies and classes and all that kind of stuff.
But I think it could be a more important topic in this book, probably, because since he mentions it here, she might find allies in the lesser fairies who want to rebel against the courts.
Yeah, I think that's already teased because she has allies in every single water wraith.
Right.
Because she saved that one water wraith once.
Yeah,
Awesome.
You're right.
Maybe I'm doing her injustice. Maybe book, I don't know, 5? How many are there? I don't know.
5, 6, I don't know.
Did we talk on the pod about how she announced new ACOTAR books?
I don't think so. I think you mentioned that everybody thought she will announce something and then nothing happened.
But I think then it happened.
Then it happened
And she
later.
announced like the 6th book.
Well, that's the thing. She like posted the picture of a notebook. And on the notebook, it says ACOTAR 6 to 8, which a lot of people were fighting about, because for some it looked like 6 and then like an arrow. So they were like, oh, it's just the symbol of the book. And then other people were like, no, it's obviously 6 to 8. So she's doing 3 more ACOTAR books. So the internet was divided. We're also very late with that discussion. I just totally forgot to talk about it on the pod. I think it happened like a month or 2 ago.
Yeah, and we're not only late, we're also early, because like I don't feel like we will be caught up when this new book drops. So like, woo! Yeah, but what do I want to say? Well, my point being, my conclusion being, monarchy sucks.
Right.
The end.
Good.
And I feel like fantasy books often have this I want to say problem, that they want to create a happy ending to the big series and the big story, but the ending is also just like monarchy. But I feel like monarchy sucks, period.
But Aragorn, son of Arathorn, is a just and rightful king. And he's the best king Gondor will ever have. He's my emotional support monarch.
You're allowed to have
You
one.
can have Aragorn, son of Arakoth.
Arathorn.
No, Arakoth, I think that's like the comet I had on my Hear Me Out cake once.
What?
You were there.
I know, but
The
this is such a
Ugly
curveball.
thingy.
It's not ugly.
It looks almost human. It looks alive. It looks
What?
fleshy.
I'm gonna show you Arakoth. You have seen it.
You've seen it.
I know, but it looked fleshy? I don't remember that.
I think it does. For me, it kind of looks...
It's a comet.
Yes, it's a very, very disturbing
Is it a comet or an asteroid?
I think it's an asteroid.
Where's the difference?
I don't know. It's Arakoth.
Oh, I know what. Now that you say it, I think when I saw it, I thought it looks like a potato. But now that you said it looks fleshy, I saw it.
But sure, whatever pickles your fancy.
Well, returning to ACOMAF, please.
What? Why? Arakoth is a queer icon because here on Wikipedia it says it's a trans-Neptunian object.
At least we have some representation here.
Hey. They're not white in Summercourt, right?
But blonde. Because of the sun. Because the sun makes you blonde. That's why all the people that live in sunny places are blonde.
Diversity!
It's a magical sun, okay?
It
She
burns
literally
so hot.
says, oh, they're all like white-haired and silver-haired because of the sun.
The magical sun.
Okay, but Feyre finds Tarkin kind and considerate, and so naturally she concludes, I'm thinking it would be very easy to love you, and even easier to call you my friend. Nice.
Cute.
Sweet.
Cute.
I ship them.
Really?
Yeah, but only because they're on a ship.
Their ship is literally sailing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have
No,
to say, I
I-
don't ship them yet.
Yeah, I
No.
don't really ship them. I just like him more than Rysand. But maybe because I don't see it as like a fictional character thing. I know we had this discussion a lot. I see that the tension is there between Rysand. But my logical brain kicks in and is like, maybe you should choose the non-problematic one. Or maybe the least problematic.
He's also much
Man
closer
she's
in
met.
age to her.
Yeah, the age gap is just... I mean, it's...
68?
How old is he?
69. Ha! He's 80. And she's 20 now? Oh, no.
That
so
makes
it's
it
60.
60.
Yeah,
Oh.
it's 60 years.
I'm math.
Maybe he will be, if this jealousy continues, maybe he will be a fling of hers before she gets to Rysand.
Well, the way this chapter ends might lead us to that. But first, what brings us kind of to how this chapter ends is because just like Feyre, who has a little eye thrown on someone else, so has Rysand. Because he is spending all his time with Cressida, and he's like, draws little circuits on her hand, and then later she basically sits in his lap, and I don't know if they're already kissing, I don't remember.
I don't think they are, but Feyre's like, oh, well, I hope they go to her room and not Rysand's.
Yeah. Well, she is obviously very jealous. And then she realizes she just longs for a loving relationship again and truly notices her unhappiness, but at least it's a real emotion of unhappiness and not the despair of a depression.
Right, I think understanding that you're actually unhappy because of a situation and not just broken is a very big step. Like, I don't like that she's unhappy, but I like that she knows she's unhappy. Because that you can change.
Yeah. She's like, I'm unhappy. Yay, a feeling. Which
Always
is
see
a
the
big
bright
step.
side.
It's a big step.
Yeah.
Right.
But she doesn't respond to that with like, oh well, I am unhappy. The solution is Tarkin, who is right in front of me. No, she would rather think about that and like work through her feelings, which is good.
Yes.
And so she excuses herself from Tarkin, and as she leaves, Rysand does not look or give any recognition that she's leaving, which she regards with good riddance.
The
I was like-
longing, the jealousy, oh!
Yeah.
Ah, these people.
I mean, she is still very young. I kind of like it. I don't like jealousy in books because I'm always so annoyed by it. But here, I don't know, Rysand is acting a bit shitty, and then she's like, I just want someone, and then she's like, blah.
But when I read this, I was so confused why this conflict between them just happens right now. Because where does this come from? Like, they were so close together yesterday evening, emotionally and physically.
I think it's both of them not knowing how to deal with actually liking someone who seems to be not shitty for you. Like, Rysand is like, yeah, well, it's your job, do what you have to do. And he might actually think she's just gonna seduce Tarkin now to get the job done.
But
because the job is important. And then he gets jealous of Tarkin, and he's like, well, I don't know how to feel about that. Maybe he hasn't been jealous of people before. And then he's like, well, if she's gonna fuck with someone else, I'm gonna. And then he talks to this Cressida girl, and I don't know.
I think they both don't consider or realize that the other person likes them. Because at some point she's like, oh, well, he flaunts his sexuality basically in front of me and teases me, but he never seduces me. And maybe he's like, she never responds to my advances, so I guess first she says she wants to be with Cassian, now she says she wants to be with Tarkin, then she says she wants to go back to Tamlin.
Right. What I just don't like about the way Rysand reacts is that it almost seems like he's punishing Fae'd for not liking him back. Because no matter how they fought, he has always been there when she struggled. And for him to not even look at her, to be like, well, I don't even consider you while you're doing your job and don't like me, that kind of made me sad.
It's
the way
so
she stands
petty
at this boat and is like, I didn't realize it, but in a way I was waiting for him to come, because he always comes when I feel down, and he didn't. That was sad. I don't know what's going on between those two.
Nah.
Those three. Those four. You know, throw all of them in. I don't know what's going on. These relationships are confusing me.
Yeah. The thing is, what I would have found fun, I mean, I might find this fun as well. We'll see how this develops. But I think what I would have found fun would have been if they were like, okay, you have to do anything to get this. And she's like, anything? And he's like, anything. Like, if you have to seduce him, do that. And she's doing that. And they both know why they do it. And then later in the evening, they're like, ha ha ha. And then she goes on seducing Tarkin again. And I think that would have been fun.
I guess. I would also feel bad for Tarkin to be used sexually just because she wants to get the book. Because right now, I actually feel like if they just talked to him, because he was very open about wanting to fight Hybern. And if they were like, well, we know a way we could maybe make Hybern almost powerless by destroying the cauldron, by using the book. Because his job is apparently to like guard the book. You wouldn't have to guard the book if you meant to at some point use the book again, right? So his job is kind of like keep the book until you need it, and he needs it.
Or his job is that he's supposed to guard the book so no one can use it, because they broke it up so no one can use it.
Yeah. Well, I don't know.
Fae'd has that sentiment as well. She at some point thinks, maybe I could just ask him for it.
Yeah, I like that she acknowledges the possibility.
Yeah, but I don't think she should right now. We don't know him
No, it's
well
too
enough.
early. I mean, this whole Summer Court episode is shaping up to be a longer one in this book, which I really enjoy. Change of scenery, maybe even more characters. And maybe our hope, our prediction of Lucian coming to Summer Court as an emissary to Spring Court might still be true if
But
this
the
is a
thing
longer
is-
deal.
The thing is, like, what discouraged me from that idea is that Cressida brought up that if Tamlin knows she's there, they will have to hand her over. And
Yeah,
so
but
they will
Lucian is
do-
not Tamlin.
Yeah, but I think they...
Maybe
Well,
then
really-
Lucian is torn between telling Tamlin
Yeah.
and not telling Tamlin. Maybe
Yeah.
he's like, Fae'd, I will not be on your side now, but I won't tell him you're here. Maybe something like that.
Why would they invite or even let him in
I don't know.
if they knew that could
I just
happen?
miss Lucian.
I mean,
that's
maybe Tamlin doesn't even need to know that she's there, but maybe Tamlin is looking for allies and is like, here, my emissary, Fox Boy, go talk to the Summer people,
True.
and they just happen to be there together.
Maybe he needs them to let his army through to get to Night Court.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we have not reached the ending of the chapter yet.
So they get back to the harbor, And Rysand and Cressida are gone. Scandalous! Scandalous!
Maybe
think-
Cressida abducted Rysand.
Probably.
Yeah, I think she took him.
Maybe she's just the most powerful person in all of Prythian.
Maybe.
After she has learned under Amarantha. Do you think that maybe he also has ulterior motives of seducing her? That he also wants to find something special out or something like that?
I think he's horny
Yeah, probably.
and wants to make Feyre jealous.
I thought maybe because she was so open about being open to handing Feyre back to Tamlin, he's like, well, I'm gonna make her my new pet now.
Jesus.
And then she will rather do my bidding than what Tamlin would request.
Maybe
But
they just have a one-night stand.
Yeah, maybe, they can just have fun.
Yeah,
no
that's-
ulterior motives, just fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or maybe she abducted him because she's evil.
Evil kitten evil.
Or maybe we will get a scene where Feyre maybe walks into Cressida's bedroom and finds Rysand bound to her bed and gagged. And it's like, oh no, I gotta save you. But they're just into it. Rysand is
okay.
into it.
Yeah, well, maybe. How does the chapter end?
The last sentence is Rysand and Cressida were nowhere to be seen.
Okay. So she's not going back.
So it is possible that she goes to her room and just starts eavesdropping.
Ooh.
Well, that would be a way we could get a sex scene between Rysand and someone else with Feyre. Or do you think maybe he's not in his room and they see each other at breakfast and she goes into his mind to be like, I want to know what you did last night. That would be...
Do you think she would be able to do that?
Maybe he
If
wants her to see it because he's petty.
Yeah.
Or maybe,
Or maybe she goes into Crusader's mind.
maybe she is very emotionally disturbed and then in her dream she accidentally enters his mind and sees...
Or maybe she thinks he had sex with Crusader and then goes into Crusader's mind and then finds out some shady shit about Crusader that she was actually doing.
That would be kind of fun.
And it turns out that Rysand just had a threesome with Amren and
Varian?
Varian.
Do you think you would sleep with Amron?
No.
No.
Maybe
Maybe
he just
she would
had a-
watch.
Yeah.
I could see she watching Rysand and Varian
Yeah.
Yeah.
and sipping her blood cocktail. all the
Endless
while.
possibilities. But I think what Feyre says at the beginning of the very first chapter is very promising because she goes like, we'll stay as long as it takes to get the books. So this could actually be a longer episode because I feel like every place we visited was always rather short. Like we went to the Mortal Realm and then we got back. But here we could stay here. But what made me a little... suspicious of the whole situation because we're always staying with Feyre. So unless Feyre goes back, we will not be back in Valaris for maybe a long time. And who did Feyre say is always in charge of looking after Valaris?
Morrigan.
It's a Morrigan.
Morrigan.
And
Morrigano.
we have not been so trusty of Morrigan the last episode. And I'm still kind of unsure if she could... Like, I love Morrigan, but I could still see her being shady.
They go back and just find the corpses of Azriel and Cassian.
I don't think that. But I mean, Azriel is in the Mortal Land trying to breach the barrier of the palace.
Right.
Cassian is in the Mortal Land either helping Azriel or with Nesta and
Elaine.
Elaine. I was just about to say Eileen and I was like, that's not right.
Morrigan is all alone.
Yeah. So maybe they come back and the God of Nightmares has taken over. Or the King of Highburn is just there.
Jesus.
Or maybe all the prices for food have gone up.
No! Not the food prices. Poor restaurant lady with her butchered oxen.
She's a good one.
Well,
I guess there's only one opportunity for us to find out.
and for you guys to find out as well.
Yes, because you cannot just read the book without listening to us.
No.
That would be
Preposterous.
unreasonable.
Perhaps
Why
even,
would you do that?
Perhaps even illegal.
Probably.
Yeah. So I guess what's going to happen is we three are going to read the next 2 chapters. And you 3 listeners
Let's be honest.
and all of you 3,000,000,000 listeners will just have to tune in 2 weeks when the next episode drops. Are you excited?
Yes.
I
Unbelievable.
was talking to our listeners. I'm still waiting for an answer.
Yes!
Yeah, so excited.
The masses are screaming.
Nice.
There's your pack.
So then make sure you follow this podcast wherever you get your podcast. Maybe, even if you like this podcast, you can leave a rating and review. And maybe even recommend it to a friend. Because that helps.
But if you cannot wait that long, you should check out our socials at Getting Fae'd on Instagram and TikTok, or even YouTube, if that's more your game. And there you can see some highlights of this podcast and some memes and some funny outtakes. And there you can spend your time until you will hear us next time when we are
Getting Fae'd!